Okay, we're live. This will be a short musical interlude. Hello, everyone. My name is Vert Arbusto, and this is the Schumann Resonance Harmonics channel on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm coming back from an injury. I was sick. I made a video on YouTube. I posted it about my time in the hospital. And it's important for me to kind of get back into the saddle, even though I don't particularly feel up for doing a video. I kind of need to do one, and I I need people to see me to let them know I'm still alive. Because in YouTube land, if you're not making a video, you're dead. Then people wander off the reservation. So I'm not really fully up for kind of doing a whole half an hour video, but I did want to do something fun to kind of get back into the swing, because I need to get back into the swing of doing videos. So so while I was in the hospital, I had a chance to think about a number of things related to the Schumann. Some of the posts that Marc from Wages World had made right before I had gone into the hospital. There was some outstanding issues with some the wonky data thing that I've given some thought to. But this video, I wanted to do, kind of coming back around video. I wanted to do a fun video, and something that I'm comfortable with, and something that I'm happy with, and that's not going to be a half an hour long video, and not a too technical of a explanation on something. So I have my guides and I kind of thought we would do a fun and interesting video on plants and plants, trees, that kind of thing. There's a specific reason why, and I have up here in the this is a picture that Wages World took, and he did a post on it. He's been posting on this. He's been mentioning the effects of the solar weather, the effects of the conditions on the plants. All right, and so this is something that I had wanted to talk about, just in general. If you've seen my older videos, there's a lot of plants. I do stuff with plants. I work outdoors. I also am I'm a landscaper. I'm a gardener. I've done arbory for over 40 years. I've worked outside with the plants, some animals, but more plants. My sister was in voc ed, which is vocational agriculture, growing up, and so we always had animals around the house. I've always had dogs, cats, these kind of things, gerbils, rabbits. But I'm also more interested in the plants because they don't run away. They don't take as much care as the animals do. I love both plants and animals, but I like planting a tree and watching it grow year after year. All right. So there were some things I had basically wanted to talk about relative to plants that I thought it might be fun and interesting to do, and also specifically address one of the key elements that Wages World had pointed out in doing the his point, his discussion here. All right, so I'm going to play this video really quick. Oh, please.
Just want to make sure if that's something I hadn't had to do yet in OBS. So, as you guys can see, just to give you a little bit of a reference on what we're looking at here, these are just little pine bushes, right? And you guys know I work in lawn care, so this is something that I've been seeing for probably the past couple of years. And now we're getting customers asking us about what's going on. George, 3 times a day, what we have to understand about plants, and a lot of people don't even know this, they will actually form a memory. So if you're watering them 3 times a day and you go out of town for one day, it's going to affect them a lot more than somebody is just watering them once a day. So they do get used to it. It's weird that they have a memory, but they do. It's really odd. So anyway, as you got this going on right here, yeah, you can see this little transformer back here, but just ignore that because that's not what's causing this issue. If this is what was causing this issue, all of them would look the same because this is just electrical equipment out there right there. And I get what you guys are saying, and it does. Electromagnetic stuff most definitely will affect plant life, but it would do it in an even fashion on all 4 of these little bushes. And I took this because of the direction of the sun. Over here, on this side of the building, that would be the west. Okay? And obviously, on this side would be the east. There's a small little tree line over here on the east side. But when the sun rises, obviously it's going to hit this one, right? Now, you would think that over here that this building would be blocking it. Well, it doesn't because it's actually out far enough. And there's no trees over here. So what I'm saying is this area is getting, it's getting a little bit more extra during the day in the morning. And at night, it is getting a little bit less as the sun starts to set. But what we're seeing here is it is dying from, in this really crazy pattern like that. Okay? And this is something that I've seen all over the place. And I wouldn't even be bringing this up if I hadn't seen it in multiple locations. This just happened. We went actually. This is at a Hardee's, guys. Me and my family went there last night for dinner, and I seen this. I was like, well, that works really good to explain what we've been seeing. And so again, it's the sunlight, and you have to understand pines. It's hard to kill these things. All right, that's why these businesses use them because they don't take that much maintenance or care. So I wanted to show you guys this because I get a lot of questions on this, and I know this has been one of those sticky questions, what's causing it and this and that. But at the end of the day, what is causing this is the sun. This is what's happening to the plant life. You can see it even on. I should have taken another picture here, but even on this bush right here. You guys could rip that bush, that type of bush, out of the ground, throw it out on the street, run it over 3 times, plant it back, and it would be okay. Okay? But why is the sun destroying these now? You just really have to understand, some of these plants that the sun's doing it to are extremely hardy plants that it should not be doing it. It just shouldn't. This is kind of a good way to show you guys this because this is from sunlight. Because the sun rises over here and it's getting hit from this direction. So it's telling you that sun is definitely the reason why these are dying, not this thing back here or lack of water. Because if it was lack of water or not being taken care of, they would all die pretty much at the same rate. You can tell this front one is getting smoked. Okay, and again, the plant life around this whole Hardy building is doing that. And it ain't just here. I mean, it's everywhere, guys. And yeah, you're saying UVC. I do think that might have something to do with what goes on with us. And, to be honest with you, I need to research UVC a little bit harder and see what it actually does to plant life. I know it hits at the cell level. I would assume that it would do it to plants just like it does us. Okay. But we also have to understand that the UVC levels that we're seeing, even though we're not supposed to be getting any of them, it's still not like extreme levels of UVC. The concern is that that's going to keep rising. That's why we're talking about it. But something that's not getting talked about enough is the fact that UVA and B is now more intense also. Okay? That is something that hardly anybody even talks about. And it's really almost more relevant for our today right now. Because that is really what will affect you in an immediate, type of setting. That's why you get sunburnt quicker. Okay? You go out in the sun, yes, there's time for...
All right, so that's all. That's where I wanted to talk about. Let him talk about on the video. All right. So one of the. All right. Let me bring this back to full screen. Let me bring myself back up. Okay. So one of the. There's a few things that I want to talk about, and this is just more related to the plants than it is the UV, A, B, or C, although this is part of the discussion. All right. So why am I bringing this up? It's not an old video. It's still relatively recent, and this topic was relevant then. It's relevant now. I'm playing his video for the purposes of education, so we can have a discussion on what this is that's killing the plants. Now, first let me find some pictures of myself. Okay, that's obviously me. This is one of the plants I take care of during my day job. Okay, I tend plants, I do landscaping. That is a hibiscus, I believe. Okay, that's a rose. Now, roses are fairly sunny-liking plants, but up here in the top, you can see it's a little bit burned. Okay, these are just simply past their prime, and it's difficult to see up here, but it's a little bit kind of cooked up here. All right, the sun at the location where this is at, the sun is. It gets the afternoon and evening sun. So it's not so much during the middle of the day. It's shaded by the house here, but you can see that it gets, oh, not that one. All right. So that's another, let me find the other picture here. All right. So the roses on the top of the roses here, they're getting kind of cooked. These look good because I water them regularly, okay? But when we there's something else that's important for this discussion. When you plant stuff like this, all right, these trees, you need to amend the soil and at the very core level, at the very base level, we're talking about 2 feet down. When you plant any trees, shrubs, any of them guys, you have to amend the soil at the roots. A lot of the professional landscaping companies that don't do that, they don't amend the soil, and you wind up with the sun cooking your trees. This is sun damage because it's the top down. If it's water damage or not getting enough water, it dries from the ground up. Okay. That's important to note that when you're talking about trees and plants, that especially trees, that the roots go very deep. The roots go as deep down as the tall tree is, as tall as a tree is. Okay. So if you have a 20-foot tree here, the top of this is getting water 20 feet down. Okay. So here I am in my day job. I don't do a lot of watering on these, but when we put them in, they have been, the soil was amended. So in all of the roses and all of the boxes that we did for my boss, the soil, this is another box here, the soil was amended in there. So these look good because I'm there 3, maybe 4 times a week watering them, yes, but the roots themselves are very strong when we put them in, and we used a good compost base for when we put those in. And this is my one of my offices at one of the boss's jobs. So you can see these are not looking burnt out. These are not looking peaked. Okay. They're all looking very nice. These are shallow plants. These are marigolds. These are shallow petunias. Those are marigolds. This right here is growing deeper down. Okay, so this is a forsythia that it's the first year in the soil. This is a peonies. So this particular picture isn't showing you a lot of burnt out stuff. We're in the middle of the city here. Okay, it looks pretty lush, it looks pretty vibrant. But again, the difference is when we did this, we amended the soil. Okay. Now, it's something to point out. Where are we? All right. Okay. So this is something that I had wanted to point out relative to trees, relative to plants. All right. Okay, we'll pick this one here. This is showing a black bear oak. This is a tree. All right. So if you'll notice, the root structure of the plant looks similar to the leaf structure. This is something else that I had wanted to point out. You have in a lot of these a main taproot that comes down, and you have a matter of the root in here that is as big as, if not bigger than, what you see above ground. So the roots are getting water from way down there. The top roots are getting water way, 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 way down there. And these other brachii are successively based on where in the plant, approximately where in the plant this is here in the middle, it would be attached to these middle roots. Okay. So something that's important to notice, to mention about plants, is that when they grow into the soil, they're not just kind of moving the dirt aside. When plants grow into the soil, they literally grow into the soil. It's what's called chelate. And that's where certain minerals and certain nutrients that are in the soil get taken into the plant, and the plant uses that to grow. So I want to find some good pictures. All right, so here's one where you can see a lot of the water has washed away, and you're left with the root pattern. Okay. On this one here, it's a big root. So I have personally spent a number of years doing landscaping and gardening, and this has been one of the worst years yet because I can't keep everything watered enough, basically. A lot of stuff has been kind of dying in the flower boxes, and it's not even in the direct sun for as long as it could be. So it's not just a matter of I think part of one of the things that I think it's important to mention, when people do the landscaping, they oftentimes, a lot of times, bring plants into a non-native environment. You know, where the plant may not have normally been growing, people want to acclimate it and bring it into being able to live on their property and live well with the other plants. And this is a big problem in the long-term life of the plant, is matching up the pH content, which is the acidic nature of the soil, and the type of plant it is. Now, there are things that landscaping companies can do to prolong the life of a plant, but the particular application there, where those arborvitaes are or were, that Wages World is showing us, a lot of times professional landscaping crews have an irrigation system in there, but they may not. Now, again, once again, it's important to remember that when you have plants and you are planting them in a location, you really got to fertilize the base of the plants. So without knowing if they did that, I don't know. But that's one of the ways to help protect the plants during high UV, high energy incoming light, is to amend the soil. Okay, so I mentioned this before, I'm going to mention it again. One of the ways you can tell if the plant's not getting enough water is it's dying from the bottom up. A lot of times the tap roots will have found water, but the closer the leaves closer to the ground will not have been supported by the water. Okay. Now, if it's the sun that's killing it, it's going to be dead from the top down. And whatever is in the shade, like this, you can see it's kind of the sun. And somewhere during the course of the day, that's getting a little bit of shade there. But other than that, these are all sun damaged. It's not water. And these are evergreens. They don't need as much water as you might think. They send a nice taproot down. They'll find residual water here, especially in this place here. I don't know how much water it's getting, but you could expect some water to be. That's part of why they build these like this with a stone, is that they expect to get some water in there, and it will, water these plants. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think that's about it for this rather rambling session where I get to talk about plants and I get to show myself in my day job. So I think that'll be all for right now. Thank you all for coming today. I appreciate you being here. This is Tuesday, the 22nd of September, and thank you all for being here. I appreciate your kind support and those who have made it an issue to comment while I've been out kind of sick. So thank you all very much for being here. I appreciate your love and support. So, on that cheery note, thank you all for being here, and I will take us out with some music and some pictures of my day job. Thank you.